Hi, I'm Sandy and I'm single.
And I'm Liz and I'm married.
And
this is Single and Married LA. Well, thanks again for joining us, guys. Hope everyone's doing well during this hot summer.
Yeah, it's pretty hot, and actually it's about to get hotter because Liz and I, we're going to Vegas.
Woo! Vegas!
Vegas, are you excited?
I am.
What are you looking forward to the most?
I think the pool parties and the Top Golf.
Oh yeah, Top Golf. It's like everyone likes it.
Yeah, and I've done Top Golf once before. I'm not very good, but I am looking forward to it. What about you?
Yeah, probably the pool party. I think the pool party is what I'm looking forward to. It'll be fun because, I'm single, so maybe I'll meet someone.
Yeah.
You never know.
For sure, definitely. Maybe Prince Charming is waiting in a Vegas pool for you.
Very well.
Waiting, get it?
Oh, ha, 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 I get it.
And, speaking of the hot temperatures, I think that there's also something hot that we need to talk about.
Oh, and what is that?
Well, it's actually more of a hot mess.
Oh, a hot mess. Okay.
It's a blast from the past.
Oh, blast from the past. Yes, that's our dating stories from olden times.
That's right, Sandy.
Yeah, so speaking about Vegas, I actually have a very interesting story about Male Chauvinist Pig Man from episode 1, if you remember him.
Oh, my absolute not favorite
of
the guys you've dated, Sandy.
I know. Don't have to tell me twice. I get it. Anyways, so it was my birthday, and Male Chauvinist Pig Man wanted to go to Vegas because it's also the Super Bowl. So my birthday, unfortunately, is always around the Super Bowl time. And anytime I'm dating someone around that time, they do want to watch the Super Bowl instead of spending time with me, which is not very okay with me.
Some people would argue that having their birthday around the Super Bowl would be great if they're football fans.
Yeah, so I'm not football fans because remember I'm Canadian, so I like hockey.
All right.
So that's it. Anyways, back to the story. So we get there, we're going there for my birthday. I have friends coming from Texas flying in. It's like my 25th birthday. It's a, fun celebration. Mm-hmm. And, I booked the rooms for us and everything. And so there was an understanding that I thought I would be in the same room as him and his best friend was going too.
Right.
However, we get there and he gets into the room with just his best friend and didn't expect me to be there. And I was like, what? What do you... I planned this. One, and two, it's my birthday. Why wouldn't I be in the same room as you? By the way, we had been dating at this point, 7 months, probably. 8 months.
So did him and his friend have a thing going on?
See, that's what I don't know. Anyways, I have no idea. But the best part about the story, guys, is... So my birthday was actually on Super Bowl Sunday, so it was the same day.
Okay.
And we had said, the night before we're going to go to a club, so at midnight I'm out, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day I knew that him and his best friend had a Super Bowl party that he was going to go to.
Okay.
So I thought it meant that all of us were going to this Super Bowl party.
Because it's your birthday.
Because it's my birthday. And my friends flew from Texas. Don't forget that. My friends flew from Texas.
Okay.
So I thought that's what we're going to do. And then he tells me the night before that it is an exclusive thing and he only has 2 wristbands and that's for him and his best friend. And I said, what? What do you mean? I'm not going to go with you? My friends are not going to go? He's like, oh, I'm sure we can get you in if you want, but we can't your friends. And I was like, what? I'm going to leave my friends who flew from Texas on my 25th birthday to go to this exclusive Super Bowl party with you? No, thank you.
So did you ever, first off, I'm not surprised that Male Chauvinist Pig Man pulled yet another Male Chauvinist Pig move.
Absolutely.
Did you ever, where did you end up staying this whole weekend?
So I did end up staying in the room with him, I think because we probably fought or something, and so I ended up being able to is the correct word, word choice, stay in his room.
Wow. And the other guy, his friend, was just kind of...
Yeah, was just there in the room as well. We were all in the room together. So
that's great.
Yeah.
A little powwow.
Yeah. Also on that trip, little side note of why, more reason why he was called Male Chauvinist Pig Man, I will never forget this, is at that point I had lost 60 pounds, 60.
Wow.
And I was in this tight dress and whatever, and the night before we had eaten McDonald's. And he actually said this, I will remember this for the rest of my life. I put on the dress and I was like, oh, it's a little tight. He's like, yeah, I wish you hadn't eaten that cheeseburger, huh? Like, actually said that. He actually said that to me.
I literally cannot
On my birthday!
him.
On my birthday!
If I had known the extent of his rudeness when you were dating him.
Yeah, I know.
I would have had several very aggressive conversations with him.
Yes, I know. And I don't know what I was thinking at the time. Like I said in the other episode, it was just a different time in my life, I guess, but this would not fly now. So I know I'm stronger now, and I know that I would stand up for myself, that that's not okay.
Yay, Sandy.
Yay! Anyway, so what's a blast from the past for you?
Well, I thought that I would share a story from a guy I like to call Tinder Man.
All right, Tinder Man, okay.
He is actually, if I'm not mistaken, the only Tinder guy that I've ever gone on a date with.
Whoa, only one. Good for you.
And, you know, he was this, like, tall, attractive guy. We probably, like, talked for, like, a month or so, just exchanging messages.
Wait, but before you even saw him?
Yeah.
You talked for a month?
No, I know. I was, like, really slow on the uptake for, like, meeting up with this guy.
Yeah.
And I think he was, like, a guy where I kept being like, oh, is he gonna ask me out? Is he gonna ask me out? And so one night he was like, hey, you should come over to my house.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I don't really feel comfortable doing that. And I was like, but I'll come if I can bring a friend and you have a friend.
Okay.
Or something to that extent.
Okay.
So I end up recruiting my friend,
All
Rachel,
right.
Shout out to Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel.
To go over to this guy's house and meet up with him and his friend.
Okay.
And it was a rented house in LA. And I just remember...
rented? Is that what you said?
It was like, yeah, like they had rented a house in
Okay.
LA. I forget where it was. I think it was in like Culver City or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was like super eerie. And we both went into it kind of being like, oh, are we going to walk in the house and like they're going to jump on us and rob us or do something worse than that.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking that as we walked up the driveway. And then we just walked in and they were like, we knocked on the door, they opened the door, and then we just like sat on these couches, all four of us, and like I don't even think they offered us a drink.
Okay.
And then
this is weird.
we just like had a conversation. And then I think they were like, oh, you guys want to go to bed? And we were like, no.
Good.
So then we were going to leave, and the guy that I had been talking to, he was like, oh, yeah, we should, like, hang out again. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then he was like, oh, I'm giving away all this stuff. We're going to, like, go give it to Goodwill. You guys should take some stuff with you before you leave.
Okay, you need to clarify. I need to stop you. Stuff. What is stuff?
So they had, like, stuff to give away to Goodwill stacked, like, in the corner of the living room. Like, Tupperware and, like, it was a lot of, like, kitchenware, I remember. But it was all, like, you know, just a bunch of kitchen stuff. And they were like, oh, you sure you don't want to take something? And it was like, no, we're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think he only asked you over to get rid of his stuff?
I mean, perhaps.
Like, did he put a move on you at all? Like, try to hold your hand? Like, anything? Like, while you were there?
No, I mean, there definitely was the invitation, like, oh, like, let's go lay down, like, over here. To which I was like, oh, no, this is the first time I've, like, met you in person.
Oh, right.
And so we're not even, like, going on a date, like we're just hanging out at your house.
Interesting. So. Well, that's a very fun, interesting story. But you guys didn't take anything?
No. I mean,
you should have taken something just to have for the story.
It was like, there was nothing like of value or like,
well, yeah,
I mean, it was all like Tupperwares and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It was just all very strange. So
yeah. Interesting. Well, that's a very fun blast from the past, if you ask me.
Yeah, so if you're ever on Tinder, just know that sometimes you match with people and you might get some free Tupperware out of it.
All right, good to know. I'll remember next time I swipe.
Yeah, no, for sure. But enough talking about the past. I think it's time for our segment, Hot Off the Press, where we talk about what's going on in our lives right now. So, I still haven't changed my last name from when I was married.
That was a year ago.
Yeah.
Over a year ago.
It's almost, let's see, a year and... what month is it?
Yeah, you counting? She's counting. You can't see her. She's counting on her hands.
It was 16 months ago.
Okay, and so what's the holdup?
I was like all sort of committed to it before we got married.
Yeah.
But then it never happened because I had like just started a job and it was in business development and sales. Mm-hmm. And I had just like introduced myself to sort of a bunch of people. And I didn't want to have to be like, oh, I know I've only known you for 3 or 4 months, but now I have a new name. And I didn't want to, like, get rid of, like, the last name on, like, LinkedIn. Oh. And then also we were going on our honeymoon 3 months after our wedding.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And we have TSA Pre-Check. And I've heard it's a nightmare to get TSA Pre-Check changed.
Oh, really? They can't just... Oh, yeah, I don't know. See, obviously, I'm single. I don't know anything about this. So you can't just, like, submit your, like, hey, I changed my name? Like, do you have to go through it all over again?
Yeah, so everywhere I've looked online, they've said that if you change your name with TSA Pre-Check, basically they aren't capable of being able to update it in the system, or if they do, it's, like, extremely backlogged. So they said basically you have to go and just renew it and pay the $75 or whatever it is again.
Interesting. I feel like they should have a better system than that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's that. Interesting. Okay, but what about like government ID, like stuff like that? Is that also hard to like change your name?
I don't know. I feel like I've talked to my married friends and they're all like, oh no, it's not that hard. But then I look and you have to contact the Social Security office and go to the DMV. And so it just seems like this big ordeal for me. And now it's really awkward at work because, like, my boss the other day was like, oh, wait, what's your last name? Your new last name?
Oh.
And, like, everyone knows me by, like, my first and last name. So now if I do it, I feel like everyone's just going to be like, what?
I mean, do they know that you got married a year ago? Can you, like, because it's just your coworkers, right? They don't really, like, matter in your life. Like, can you just be like, I just got married? Or do you have to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess it is that simple. I feel like I'm overcomplicating it, but I just need to do it. And then Golden Man will casually bring it up every so often.
That was my next question. Is he upset that you're not changing your name to his?
I don't think he's outwardly upset, but every so often he'll like make like little jabs like, oh yeah, remember when you were going to change your name and that never happened?
Yeah, I feel like he's probably going to continue to bring that up until... Because if you had discussed, right, that you're going to change your name, he thinks you're going to change your name.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when are you going to do it?
I don't know. I'm not, like, opposed to it, although, I totally respect anyone that keeps their sort of maiden name when they get married. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm eventually gonna do it. I just don't know when, and the process intimidates me, and having to kind of reintroduce myself to a bunch of people. But anyway, enough about my last name. Sandy, I want to talk about how you've said offhand in conversations that you are the female version of Good Luck Chuck.
I am. So, to preface this for anyone who doesn't know what Good Luck Chuck is or was, it was a movie with Dane Cook and Jessica Alba, and I think it's just a general saying anyways too, but it's where everyone you date when you break up, then they find their long-term partner after you. So I have 7 people. 7. Like actually 7 exes that are still with the person that they were that they got together with right after me. 7.
7 in a row.
In a row, I don't know. I guess it's in a row. No, not in a row, like completely. But just 7 people I've dated, 7 people that I've cared for 7 people that, I thought, well, not all 7, but some of them I potentially thought I was the person who they were supposed to be with, and then didn't happen. They met somebody right after me, and then now they're still together, either married, having kids, some of them are having kids, or they're still just long-term partners. 7. I don't know if this is common, like, for other people, but I know in my friend group it's not, so I'm, like, the only one that has this, but it is, like, it's like I train them to, like, be able to, like, be in a marriage and, like, know what that means, and then I release them. But it's very, very weird, like, that 7. So that's why you examine it. Like, hey, why is this happening? Each time I have an argument with them about what it means to be in a relationship and to be committed. And then that's when we break up. And then they go and find someone to be committed to.
But is that how all 7 of the relationships ended?
Well, I think so, yes. Because I thought about it the other day, because I've been thinking about this a lot lately.
Yeah.
And, all of them has been an argument about them not, being, thinking that we're too comfortable. And that's, like, a bad thing. Like, that's not what relationships are supposed to be. Or, like, one of them is, like, didn't think that, he wanted that in his life because work was his life and that's all he wanted and he didn't want anything. And I pounded in him for 7 years that, like, your work isn't your life. And then sure enough, turn around 6 months later, he's engaged. So,
man,
I spend this time just, like, training them and then releasing them in the wild to get their next life partner. And then here I am, how many years of dating I have, and I haven't found someone. So someone needs to be my good luck Chuck. I need that to me. I need to stop doing it to other people.
Well, I feel sorry for your predicament, but
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's... I think it's just a coincidence. We're at that age.
No. 7 people. The stats don't lie. 7 people. If it was 2, 3 coincidence, fine, I'll give you that. 7. That is a lot that are still in relationships or married, like I said, and some of them are having kids now too.
So when you mentioned that it was too comfortable, what did they mean by your relationship was too comfortable?
If you can guess, this was Male Chauvinist Pig Man.
Oh, what a surprise.
And it was because I was sick. Oh, this is another great story. This is great. I was sick. Oh, there's so many great stories for him. I forgot. I was sick in his apartment, and I told him I back up. I told him I was sick and that we didn't have to hang out because I was sick. He was like, no, I want to take care of you. Come over. So I come over and I'm, like, actually sick, like sneezing and, like, tissues everywhere, like that kind of sick. I thought, didn't think it was gross or whatever. And then, like, he made me soup, like it was actually a nice night, whatever. And then the next day he had this expectation that we were just going to, like, get up and, like, work out or go on a hike or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm sick. He's like, no, but that's not what you do. Like, you're supposed to, like, go and exercise to get better. And I was like, well, that's not what I do. He's like, well, that's because you're just too comfortable. We're just too comfortable with each other. Like, we can't be doing this. And he ended up actually leaving to go out with his friends. And I stayed at his apartment. I'm not going to leave. Like, why am I going to leave? Like, when I'm sick and you just abandoned me, screw you. Ugh. So I stayed there. And then when he came back, we argued about it again. But he was saying about being too comfortable is, one, the no wearing makeup thing, the lounging around with each other and, like, not having things to do, whatever, comfortable. And then, there's the other part of, like, bodily functions and, like, stuff like that happens that he thinks was just too much, I guess.
Just another reason to dislike Male Chauvinist Pig Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't even, like, be caring while you're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I feel like if you're really sick, like, look, I'm all about working out, but you should not be working out if you're, like, really sick.
That's exactly what I said, but that's apparently his style. What he does is that he likes to work out, I guess, when he's sick, and because he says, like, breaking a sweat helps you not get sick, whatever. He has his own thing. But anyways, for him, right, so we're talking about good luck Chuck, right, tying this in, he got back together with his high school sweetheart. Yes, he did.
Well.
And at the same time that we were breaking up, they started talking. And then within 2 months, 3 months, they were officially in a relationship.
Man, well, it sounds like you really missed out on a great catch there.
I know I didn't miss out. I'm just saying.
If you can't tell my sarcasm, I'm telling you my sarcasm.
I get it, but I'm just saying that it's the stats, okay? I don't want to be with him. No, thank goodness that happened. But I'm just saying that the stats don't lie, and that happened. That was a fact that happened, that he got back together with his ex-girlfriend, and, like, immediately, like, 2 months they were in a relationship. And then now they're married. It's been 6 years. They're married, and they have a kid.
So, do you think 8th time is the charm?
I don't know. There could be an 8 coming up. I don't know. There's a couple of single people, only, like, 2, I think. 2 or 3 single people of the people I dated that are still single. That's it. Just
wow.
Like 2. Probably 2. Mm-hmm.
I think of the people I've dated, like, 1 is married.
Yeah, see, that is what I'm saying
engaged.
About the stats. Liz, that is what I'm saying about the stats. Everybody else has a story like that. Or like 1, right? They might have 1 or 2. Like, oh yeah, 2 of my exes are married, they have kids. I got 7. Like, that is a stat.
Well, maybe you just targeted people that, besides Male Chauvinist Pig Man, that, really were committed to having a family and had good values, but it just didn't work out.
No, because like I said, all of the fights we had were about, like, they don't understand what a relationship is. Like, they don't understand, like, you need to communicate. They don't understand, like, having the other person in consideration, like, things like that. Or, like, it's always that. The fights always come, and then we break up, and then they're with the next person because I, like, yelled at them about all these things. They yell at me back, by the way. So in all of the fights, they always yell at me back and say, like, no, that's not right, whatever. We obviously cool down, have our breakup, and then they think about it, and then I guess they think it's true, and then the next person they're with, they freaking marry.
Well, I haven't seen Good Luck Chuck, the movie. You said there's one?
Yes, I have it on DVD if you'd like to borrow it.
Oh, I would love to. Well, I will watch the movie, but is there a way to, quote-unquote, break the curse? Like,
yeah.
Do you have to dance a dance, or do you have to, like, do something?
No, I think for him, it just happened. So it's Dane Cook and Jessica Alba. And so I think, Dane Cook obviously was Good Luck Chuck. And then I think for Jessica Alba, it was just, I think he told her, like, what happened in the past, and I think she just, like, was someone that it wasn't going to happen to or whatever. I forgot exactly what happens. Oh, like, they break up at a certain point. She starts dating someone, so he thinks that that's who she's going to end up with. They break up, something like that, yeah. And then they get back together.
Okay. Well.
So, hopefully, not obviously, I need to knock on wood right now, that, like, there will be someone that will be with me, we won't break up and then have somebody else. So hopefully their curse will be broken at some point.
They would be lucky to have you.
Well, thank you.
Well, as we're talking about going to Vegas.
Oh, yes.
I think that's a good segue into our Never Have I Ever segment.
All right. Let's do it. 3 fingers up. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Well, I don't know if this will happen in Vegas, but Sandy, never have I ever participated in a twerk contest.
Okay. So, 1, I don't know how to twerk, okay? I'm not going to give myself any credit.
That's not what our friends were saying.
It was not twerking. I have video evidence. That is not twerking. I cannot twerk. I did dance at a drag show for my birthday. I did have to dance on stage because my friends made me and the hostess made me. It was just a dance contest.
There was definitely some twerking in the video.
It wasn't twerking. I can't twerk.
Hey, I didn't say it was bad twerking. I just said I've never done a twerk contest, and I've seen you do it. So.
Well, all right, fine. I don't dance in public often. All my friends were like, and I've known these friends for like 10 years, and they were like, oh my gosh, I've never seen Sandy dance like that. I was like, whatever, that's the only time you'll ever see that. So, all right, well, I'm going to get you now. Never have I ever dated anyone 4 years younger than me.
I knew that would come up at some point.
So let's go into it.
Well, I was sort of in my mid-20s, and there was a guy in his early 20s, and came on pretty strong to me. And, didn't have a lot going on at the time. Mm-hmm. And he was really nice and cute. And so, yeah, we went on, 4 or 5 dates.
Was he still in college?
He was not still in college.
I don't know what year this happened, so I'm just saying.
I think I was like 27 at the time, and he was 23.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, yes, I guess I cougared around for a bit, but yeah, it was very pleasant. Nothing too crazy happened, and it was short and sweet, and then we went our separate ways.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. But, all right, if you're going to put me on blast, never have I ever bought a car for an ex.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, I will never do it again. Let's start with that.
Okay.
I will never do it again, and it was a boyfriend at the time, so not an ex.
Yes, yeah. Sorry.
A boyfriend at the time, and we were in high school and college, so it's a high school sweetheart man. And his car, he lived here in Los Angeles. His car broke down, and he needed a car and didn't have good credit. So I took out a car loan in my name, and we bought a used car, in which he then defaulted on the loan, returned the car back to my dad in Texas, and then ran away scot-free, whereas my dad had to then pay about $7,000, I think, to pay it out, and then he donated the car to like a charity.
That was such a nice story of what you did for him until he didn't follow through.
Yeah, exactly. Things just don't work out sometimes, and you see people's true colors even after 4.5 years.
Well, that was very caring of you to do that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not going to do it again though. So I've learned my lesson. They deal with it. It's on their own credit. Until I get married, I guess I have to deal with that. But while I'm like single, like not married, I'm not buying any more cars for anyone.
All right. Well.
Yeah. All right. Well, never have I ever taken an ex to a wedding.
Yeah, I had a time in my life where I was the maid of honor in a wedding.
Okay.
And it was a long relationship that I had been in. Mm-hmm. Almost 4 years, I think.
Oh, wow, okay.
And we had broken up, and still kind of seeing each other. Yes. Even though there was an inevitable move that was going to happen at the end.
Yes.
And
he was moving away.
He was moving away.
Okay.
But we were still talking. I don't know how serious it was. At the time, in my heart, it was like, oh yeah, maybe we can work through this, and I could move, or, we could do long distance. But yeah, it was like a very upsetting breakup, and there were still a lot of feelings attached, so my ex was my wedding date.
So, but, like, why not bring anyone? Like, you're at a wedding, right? Like, can you have fun and whatever being single? Like, how come you brought an ex?
It was a small wedding.
Oh, okay,
We
it was small.
had a very, at the time, every close relationship with the couple, because obviously it was one of my best friends, and it was awkward.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did all of your friends know that you were seeing him again, or was it a surprise where they're like, wow, here's her ex?
They pretty much knew.
Oh, okay.
Because we were kind of still seeing each other probably almost for 6 to 9 months after we broke up.
Oh, wow, okay.
Officially.
Okay, all right. Interesting. Did he have a good time at this wedding? Did you both have a good time at this wedding?
It was fun at the wedding, and then it got really awkward towards the end when we went off and talked one-on-one and kind of realized, this is awkward, we're exes, we still care about each other. And then he just left, of course.
Wait, he left the wedding?
Yeah.
Like, without you?
Yeah,
like he
without
left.
me. Yeah.
Well, that's not very nice.
No, it's not. But that's why we're not together anymore.
Well, there you go. Exactly.
Because it just didn't work out.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Sandy. Never have I ever had an ex that works at the Olive Garden, which sounds amazing. Free breadsticks.
So, actually, yes. It was actually very beneficial that he worked at Olive Garden. So, he worked at 2 different Olive Gardens, one while we were in Texas and then one here in Los Angeles, too. So, the one here in Los Angeles was when I don't think we were 21 yet. However, he was able to get us wine. For free.
Oh, wow.
At the Olive Garden here in Los Angeles. And then the one in Texas, I think I got some like meals for free and stuff like that. So it was actually a really good hookup to have.
For sure.
Like, your boyfriend work for Olive Garden, because I was getting like free food all the time and like delicious stuff. And I think he even brought home stuff at the end of the day too, like at the end of his shifts, he would bring home food. So I had a lot of Italian food, a lot of breadsticks, and definitely wine. And I still remember some of my friends to this day still talk about it, about how they got the wine. They'll bring up like, oh, you remember your ex and how he got us the wine at Olive Garden? I'm like, yes.
Wow. That's a pretty good hookup.
Yes. Well, never have I ever been scuba diving. So I want to hear a little bit more about this. Like, when was that?
So, I'd never been scuba diving. I'm not certified. But when you're in Australia, which is where Golden Man and I went on our honeymoon.
Wow, Australia. That's amazing.
You can go scuba diving to a certain depth as long as you're with an instructor.
Okay.
So, as part of our honeymoon, being in Australia, we went to the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh man, that sounds awesome. Was it cool?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I highly recommend going, especially, well, sad before it completely dies or dies some more.
Yeah.
But yes, got to go scuba diving. It was beautiful to see all the coral. And I like scuba diving, although I feel like my nose and my ears like really hurt when I went scuba diving, and I wasn't even that deep. I was probably like 30 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
But I've always had like sinus problems. I know this is TMI. I think like...
No, but it's good for people to know if they haven't been scuba diving. This is an issue.
Like, I feel like I would be a regular scuba diver.
Oh, that's, yeah. I kind of want to do it at some point in my life, but I'm, like, really afraid of sharks. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I really want to.
Oh, I was trying to see a shark.
No, why would you want to see a shark? What is wrong with you? Why?
As long as you're not bleeding, it's okay.
No, they could still think that your food, you're like, I don't know, a seal or something, and, like, just chomp at you. Like, no, it freaks me out.
I feel like you only hear about that happening if you're like on a surfboard or something.
Nah, I think it happens to other people.
Well, I'll knock on wood that that doesn't happen. Really, to anyone.
Go again. Yeah, anyone, but also you. If you go again, that it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, scuba diving. Thanks for joining. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to have you listen to our next podcast.
See you next time.
Bye.